Hey guys, what the fuck is up? It's Billy and welcome back to No Bleeps. This past week has been insane. I mean, it was a slow week last week in the beginning and I was like, oh my gosh, like there's no drama, there's nothing going on. And then all of a sudden, I feel like the internet just like blew up because of this Trisha Paytas, Shane Dawson, and Jeffree Star situation. And I just have like a lot of feelings about it. And also, since we talked about driver's license last week, I just want to say that I can't believe that it's number one on the Billboard's 100s. And like she's breaking all these records. And if Olivia Rodrigo wins a Grammy, like I'm going to freak out because I fucking loved High School Musical, the series, and I swear to God, when I told everyone to watch it after I watched it, everyone was like, why? Like, that sounds stupid. Like, the show is bad. And I feel like I even made fun of the show at first, too. Like, before I even actually watched it, I was like, why did they do this? And then I watched it and I was a big fan. And then everyone wanted to like make fun of me for liking it. And now I'm just like, I'm an original. I was original Olivia Rodrigo lover. And now she's on the top of the charts. And I could not be more happy about it. So yeah, I just really needed to let you guys know that I feel really cool for having known about Olivia Rodrigo before she blew up. Anyways, back to this entire Trisha Paytas and Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson situation. I'm going to break it down from the beginning because I have a lot of thoughts and feelings. And I feel like anything that has to do with like friendship dynamics, like regardless of what Trisha has fucking done in the past, which she's just done a lot of terrible things. And this isn't me saying, oh my God, I love Trisha, I support her. Absolutely the fuck not. Like, do not even get me started on Trisha's past. But I think if you've ever been crossed by a friend before, you can relate to the situation and really feel for her and know that the things that happened to her, nobody ever deserves to have happened to you. Basically, about a year ago, because it was Valentine's Day, Trisha Paytas got invited to go to Las Vegas with Jeffree Star. There were a bunch of people there that Jeffree was friends with, and there were employees of Jeffree that had gone on this trip. Jeffree paid for the private jet, he paid for the hotel, he paid for glam, all this stuff, right? That's what was promised. And, at first I think Trisha was really excited to go. It seemed like she was excited to go. Everyone seemed like they were having a good time in the vlog. And Trisha even posted a video from this trip. And the video clips go as such. They got on the private jet. She's eating alone in her hotel room. And then she comes home early and she's like, I had a great time. Which we now know was a lie. She did not have a great time. And the reason why she said that was because she was scared of Jeffree Star and all of his friends. And at the end of the day, she feels like she was invited on this trip so that they could bully her. And there have been many people that have come out that were on this trip that have backed up Trisha's story. And they have talked about it way before even Trisha wanted to come out and say what happened to her on this trip. There were people that made videos saying that Jeffree was making fun of her skin, her hair, her weight, and she was not ready to talk about it until this year. So Trisha decided that she was going to speak about some of the experiences that she had on this trip in a mukbang a few weeks ago. In this video, she says that on the Vegas trip, she left early, and originally Jeffree was going to cover the cost of glam and everything for everybody, and she had a problem with Jeffree Star's wig guy, Hair by Jay. And this was because she left early because they were making fun of her, and she ended up getting charged. She got a bill from Hair by Jay, even though Jeffree was going to cover the cost of glam. But because she left early, he billed her and she felt like she was overcharged. So she was just venting about the fact that this hair guy overcharged her in a mukbang, and Hair by Jay actually saw that she had talked bad about him. And I don't even think it was like talking bad about him. She was just telling her experience, and he did not like that. And so he went on Instagram Live and was going off on her in the most disgusting way, saying just horrible things about her. And threatening her, saying that she messed with the wrong person, he's gonna come and get her, and just said that they were talking bad about her on the trip. Like, he literally admitted it. He said, like, we were making fun of your hair, we were making fun of your skin, we were making fun of your weight, we were making fun of how much money you have. I mean, just look at you. He was playing the video that she was talking about him in, and he was like showing the camera her face and was like, I mean, just like look at your skin. And just the comments that he was saying about her said it all, and it just made it very known that this truly was in fact what really did happen on this trip, that they did talk bad about her, they did bully her, they did, you know, make her want to leave early from the trip. And at first Jeffree Star came out and he was honestly, you know, just kind of brushing the situation off. He was saying, what my employees say, like, don't represent me, because people were like, you need to fire Hair by Jay. Like, comments like this are not okay. What your employees say really reflects on you and your business, and it's not okay for you to have people that are working for you that speak about people this way. This is extremely unprofessional, and you are the company that you keep. And a lot of people were just like, the reason why Hair by Jay feels so comfortable saying these types of comments about Trisha is because Jeffree himself talks exactly like this. Like, this live was only a couple days before they were filming a video together, him and Jeffree, in Wyoming, where Jeffree was addressing the Kanye West situation in his kitchen. Like, Hair by Jay was on the trip with him. So basically, you know, people are thinking Jeffree obviously talks about Trisha in this negative way, and so his employees talk about Trisha in this negative way, and his friends talk about Trisha in this negative way. If Jeffree never talked about Trisha in this way, or talked about anybody in this manner, used this type of language, they would never feel like they had the ability to say these things, honestly. But Jay full on attacked Trisha, and she was so hurt by it. Now, Jeffree did end up firing Hair by Jay, and it did take like a couple days for him to fire him, because at first he was just like, my employees like don't represent me, they don't say what I say. But he did say that he apologized to Trisha for that trip, which means, you know, he had something to apologize for, which is basically admission that he did make her feel bad, which is just, just so shitty that he was friends with Trisha for a very long time, and for him to talk bad about her is horrifying. Like, just so bad. It's disappointing that people can be so nasty. And where Shane Dawson comes into all of this is that Shane was not standing up for Trisha in all of this. He was behind the scenes telling Trisha, don't make a video, like, you know, Jeffree's really lonely and he's really sad, and you shouldn't make a video about Jeffree. Like, don't make it worse. Don't make the situation worse. Like, I'm trying to distance myself from Jeffree. Like, you know, I'm really scared of Jeffree. Like, don't do that to us. Like, don't make it worse. Oh, meanwhile, okay, Shane is posting on his Instagram story, like, I love you, Jeffree, having Jeffree on Ryland's podcast and gushing over him, saying, we love Jeffree. Oh my gosh, can you call me Miss Mama? Like, you guys, Jeffree Star on Ryland's podcast is like, it's insane. He is fangirling like no other. Like, they could not have sucked up to Jeffree Star more on the podcast, and for them to do that, but Shane to be telling Trisha behind the scenes he's trying to distance himself, is ridiculous. And then when things happen between Jeffree and Trisha, where Jeffree and his, you know, employees are publicly just saying the nastiest things about Trisha Paytas, and admitting to saying the nastiest things about Trisha Paytas, and continuing to say the nasty things about Trisha, and Trisha is telling Shane, like, they are really hurting my feelings. Like, why are you standing by this? And Shane is just like, well, Jeffree was really loyal to me last year, like, when I was getting canceled. Like, so is Trisha. And Trisha continues to be super loyal to you. Trisha continues to go on her podcast with Ethan Klein from H3H3 on their Frenemies podcast and say that she wants Shane to come back. She can't wait for Shane's return. Like, since Shane has gone on his little break from the internet, Trisha has not shut up about the fact that she is a big fan of Shane and that Shane is a good person and she loves Shane. Like, she has no problem defending Shane. She will not stop talking about the fact that she is friends with Shane and she loves him. But Shane literally cannot come out and say, hey, the things that are being said about Trisha are really mean. He can't even say that. He cannot even say that. He can't even admit that the things that are being said about Trisha were so bad. He was literally following Hair by Jay up until the point where Jeffree was like, good morning to everyone except for the guy that used to do my hair. Like, once Jeffree Star said that he fired Hair by Jay, that's when Shane was like, oh my gosh, okay, like, I can unfollow him. Like, did he need permission from Jeffree Star to unfollow him? It's just like, it's just so weird. It's like this leader and like the minions are Rylan and Shane, and they're just like, oh my gosh, well, we can't upset Jeffree, so we can't unfollow like Hair by Jay, even though he said those really terrible things of my best friend Trisha for 12 years. We have to make sure that Jeffree is okay with it. Otherwise, Jeffree's gonna be like, why did you unfollow him? And I don't know, like, I'm gonna cut your checks, your little pallet checks or something, not give you your merch checks for the month. I don't know. But I just think it's absolutely ridiculous that Shane can't come out and say, these things are really me and I'm going to support my friend. What? He told Trisha to just come over and have Postmates and forget about this entire situation. Like, a situation like this is not going to be just brushed under the rug. This is a situation that has truly hurt Trisha's feelings. She uploaded a video where she was breaking down into tears, bawling over the fact that her best friend, Shane Dawson, is not standing by her and that she has had it with him constantly promoting Jeffree Star, giving Jeffree Star this platform, showing him so much love, even though behind the scenes she is crying to Shane, telling him how mean Jeffree has been to her and how Jeffree body shames her. And for Shane to just tell her to come over and like, let's just move on is absolutely ridiculous, because just by random chance the other day, I was watching this video that Shane made with Ryland where he made Ryland wear this fat suit, and they went to his mom's house and they were like getting really emotional because Shane was talking about all of his like times in high school where he was getting bullied and he felt really terrible about himself because of his weight. And Shane has always been super public about the fact that he like doesn't like the way he looks and he's super insecure and all this stuff. And for him to just tell Trisha, like, come over, like, let's move on, when Trisha is so vocal about the fact that she is hurt by the fact that they body shamed her and that she was triggered by this, and that Shane tries to say that he is like such an advocate against like bullying and people talking about other people's weight, and he's like super sensitive to that stuff. He doesn't seem to care in this situation when it involves Jeffree Star. He's like, let's brush it under the rug, girlie. Like, don't make a video about him. Like, don't say anything. Like, huh? If someone was talking shit about my friend of 12 years, or literally a friend of a fucking day, like, if someone was talking shit about someone's skin, weight, money, I don't freaking care. I'm gonna be like, you're an asshole. What's wrong with you? Like, what? That shit's not okay. That's not gonna fly with me. That is some mean girl stuff. Leave it to Regina George in a movie. Like, this is not how you're supposed to be in reality. You are not supposed to be this evil and so mean. Like, Trisha was saying this week, like, in her friend of me's podcast, that Jeffree was bullied like all his life, so maybe that's why he's so mean to people. But that's truly just not an excuse for how to be. Like, you need to go talk to someone and figure out why you are so mean and figure out how to deal with it, because talking shit about other people is not going to make you feel better at the end of the day. Like, maybe in the moment talking shit about other people makes you feel so powerful and so good, but truly that's like, you're gonna be sad at the end of the day when you have nobody actually real around you. Like, if you talk that much shit about other people are going to talk that shit about you because you're mean. And people are going to be scared of you, and then you're not going to have real friendships. Like, I had a friend, you guys, that I was friends with for a couple of years, and I really, really liked her. Like, I really did. But she talked shit about everyone. Like, every time we would go to dinner, she was talking shit about her closest friends. And I just knew, like, after some time, I was like, damn, she's definitely talking shit about me. Like, 100% she's talking shit about me. And the craziest thing is, like, we all used to hang out, like, me and all her friends and her boyfriend. And then suddenly all of us like couldn't hang out anymore. Like, it was weird whenever we would see each other, and I just felt like she talked shit about us individually with each other, that when we came into the room together, the vibe was just so off, because we were just like, what the fuck? Like, we had all these like different impressions of each other, and I had to get the fuck out of that. I had to get the fuck out of that situation, because I knew she was talking shit about me. I knew she was talking shit about everyone. And it was toxic, and it really just brought down me mentally, and it was draining. It was exhausting, and that's evil. And I feel like that's exactly what's going on with Jeffree. Like, he talks so much shit about everybody that there's no way that he has like actual loyal people around him. They all have to know and realize that he's talking shit about them too. Like, it's a very big thing to pick up on. Like, it's not a secret when people are shit talkers. You pretty much just know. they're talking shit about you, especially when they make it so personal and they talk about outfits and money and all this stuff. Like, who the fuck cares? Why are you judging that shit? You shouldn't be friends with people if you don't like them. Like, don't be friends with them to begin with. Then you don't have shit to talk. Like, it's just insane to me that Shane wants to stand by that. And honestly, maybe it's just because we're all just seeing who Shane really fucking is. That's also the other thing. Because, you know, Trisha saying that she's always saw the side of Shane that was different from the Shane in his old videos, where Shane was this new and improved Shane where he was just like super empathetic and he loved to care for people and he was this really nice guy and he always listened. But, you know, on her podcast, her and Ethan were basically saying that, you know, everything that she was venting to Shane about, he was probably telling to Jeffree, and Jeffree was using that as ammo to talk shit about Trisha. And, you know, it's kind of crazy that we never really saw Shane as this mean girl, and then we suddenly found out that he had a hand in the James Charles takedown, and his reputation started to change. And I feel like, you know, I watched Shane and I thought he seemed like a really nice person. And now I'm like, holy shit. Like, I think he might just be like Jeffree. Like, I really do. Because not only is his past completely disgusting, like, when I mean I liked him, that was like before I knew all this shit. So don't even go there. But I just think we never really got to see, like, he fooled us into thinking that he was like this really just sad person. And anytime I watched a video, all I could think was like, oh my gosh, like, Shane, like, I want to give you a hug. But now the things that I'm hearing, I'm like, holy shit, like, this man really freaking bamboozled us into thinking that he was like needing our sympathy or something, and he was like sad, when at the end of the day he seemed like a gossip person. Like, Trisha saying that she always had beef with Gabby Hanna because Gabby Hanna told Jason Nash that she had herpes when she didn't have herpes, but Gabby actually heard that from Shane Dawson. And Trisha said, like, for years she had heard that rumor, and that she had heard rumors that Shane was talking shit about her, but she never believed it. And now she's like, wait. Like, I think Shane is not who I thought he was. And it's true. It seems like Shane isn't who any of us thought that he was. That he might really just be as bad as Jeffree. Like, maybe when he was telling Trisha, I'm scared of Jeffree, like, I'm gonna distance myself, he actually wasn't. He was just trying to keep up this, like, good person act. And now that he has to choose, he's like, I'm choosing Jeffree because we're the same freaking person or something. It's just insane. I think we've always seen Shane try to take, like, the side of the person that is, like, emotionally being hurt in some way. And for once, like, we're seeing him not take that side. Like, he's not taking Trisha's side, he's taking Jeffree's side. And the craziest thing is that close friends of Jeffree Star are coming out to literally say, yo, Shane, you're fucking up because this man doesn't like you. He doesn't fuck with you. He was literally ready to ditch your butt. Last year, when you were going down, he was like, when do I cut ties with Shane? When is this 3 strikes you're out? Like, those are the things he was saying. And Shane is over here telling Trisha, like, I'm not going to ditch Jeffree because he didn't ditch me during the stuff that was going down last year. And it's like, Shane, he was really about to, but he didn't want to ruin his reputation. Like, the only thing that was holding Jeffree together last year was, like, people saying, oh, well, while Shane was going down, Jeffree was standing by him and they still stayed friends. I mean, truthfully, in that situation, I thought that they only stayed friends because Jeffree was also getting taken down. Like, it wasn't just Shane that was getting taken down. Like, Jeffree was getting taken down too, and all these insider articles started coming out about him. So he really had no one else besides Shane. I think that Shane might be, like, the only person that is truly, like, Jeffree's friend, kinda. Like, I don't know. You guys, I don't know anymore. Like, my brain hurts because I just think they're both so fake. And I don't know what's real anymore. I really don't. I think I'm thinking about it too much at this point because I'm just like, wait a minute. Like, is Shane faking being friends with Jeffree? Like, is Jeffree faking being... Like, I just am so... I can't even. I can't. These people are nuts. Like, why can't good people be friends with good people and be on the internet? And it has to be so complicated. Like, there's so many manipulative, like, tactics and weird things going on in between that have me like, I do not know who Shane Dawson is. I cannot uncover who he is. It does not make sense to me. I feel like I don't know him. Like, I feel like I don't. Because there's so many things that have, like, warped my image of him that on one hand, I'm like, oh my God, he seems like on camera that he is, like, this sad person. But then, like, I remember that live that he did after Tati made her video last year, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, I think that was a real Shane. And then, I'm seeing things like this, and I'm just like, I think he has two personalities. I think he does, because he's telling Trisha, I'm scared of Jeffree, and then he's like, I love Jeffree, like, everybody, like, go listen to Ryland's podcast where we, like, basically are, like, pouncing on Jeffree because we love him so much. I don't know. And he's not doing this fake stuff, like, to be liked by people on camera, I don't think, because if he was trying to be liked by the public right now, he would definitely be like, bye, Jeffree, like, you're mean. Because that's what people want him to do. People did not want him to come back at all. Like, people did not want Shane to come back after what happened last year, like, all the stuff that came out about him and all the accusations that were made against him. People didn't want him to come back. But if he was freaking smart, because I know he wants to have a comeback, Trisha has made it very clear. She's been promoting it, talking it up for months now that she's wanted Shane to come back, that he is going to try to come back. So I know that it's in his plan book to come back. Do I want him to come back? Not really. I don't think he needs to come back. I think he has enough money to retire. But I think that if he was going to have this plan of coming back, like he has basically told Trisha that he was going to have, the best time for him to come back would have been now. And it would have been an opening for him. It truly would have been, because this would have been his opportunity to say, I really effed up in my life and I don't want to make another mistake by choosing a really bad side here. I think he could have used this as an opportunity to come back and really be like, I'm good. I'm trying to improve myself. Like, I want to be a good friend. I want to make good decisions, and standing by Jeffree is not a good decision, because it's not. But that's not what he's doing. He's basically like, F you, Trisha. Like, I'm standing by Jeffree because Jeffree's got the money bags. Even though I don't really understand that argument either, because people are like, Shane is just standing by Jeffree because Jeffree has a lot of money. And it's like, Trisha has a lot of money too. But they keep talking about the palette, and I feel like they've already made all their money from the palette. Like, the conspiracy palette was such a big hit 2 years ago. Oh my God. It feels like last year was 2019, and I know a lot of other drama channels have been talking about this, but it's true. I feel like last year was 2019. 2020 was like not a real year to me. It just like wasn't. So the fact that the conspiracy palette came out, like, it'll be 2 years this year, is so crazy to me. But it made its money in that time period, and like maybe it made some money afterwards, but it's certainly not making that kind of money now. So I don't know why Shane is like out here like trying to be with Jeffree Star. Like, you are not going to be able to do that ever again. Like, you guys are not going to be able to come out with a palette and it sell like it did. There's just no way. There's no way. Not with the reputations. It is not what it once was. Like, that was like when it was in its peak for both of them, and now people would probably just like burn whatever they made. Like, I don't see it happening for Shane to be sticking around Jeffree and it like making him super rich again. I know that he's probably got a contract for the merchandise stuff, but I mean, how many people are buying Shane Dawson merchandise right now that like he can't just like go be like, let me make merch somewhere else? I mean, I guess at this point, like, his reputation is like not very good, so he probably couldn't work with like Fanjoy or anything like that. But I mean, you guys, I cannot. This situation is very eye-opening, I think, for a lot of people. And like I said earlier, I think a lot of people can relate to the situation. Even if they don't like Trisha, they can really just see like how effed up it is to ditch your best friend for someone who's like literally talking shit about you, and like how hurtful it is to like see your friend do that to you. Like, that fucking sucks. That's some high school mean girl shit right there. Like, Jeffree is not a good person, and I don't think he's changing anytime soon from that, but Shane could most definitely change, or maybe not. Maybe he's the same way, but he can most definitely take like a right path here. Like, it's up to him whether he wants to look good or bad. And it's kind of shocking to see that he doesn't want to look good. Like, even if he's not even being real about it, like, even if he's being fake about it, he isn't even doing that. Like, he's genuinely, purposely trying to take Jeffree's side and willing to look bad for it. That is what blows my mind. Everyone is saying, take Trisha's side. What is wrong with you? And he still won't even fake it. That is crazy to me. I don't know how he plans on coming back. I really do not know. I am just very curious to see it, because I know I can't like prevent it in any way. Like, it seems like from what Trisha has said over the past couple months, like, he's going to do whether people want to see it or not. So I'm curious to see what the fuck he's going to come up with, because at this point, this was the opportunity, in my opinion, and he stayed very, very quiet. I'd say, like, up until this drama, Shane was posting every day, if not at least every other day, on his Instagram story. Like, people can say he's on a break all he wants, like, from social media, but this man was not taking a break from Instagram stories. He was constantly posting on there. He posted a ton of stuff about Jeffree Star, posted like a bunch of heart emojis saying how much he loved Jeffree Star, like always reminiscing old photos of him and Jeffree Star. He's always promoting Ryland on there, talking about his Animal Crossing on there, talking about his slime. He's not afraid to promote his merchandise on there. But all of a sudden, when his best friend of 12 years is going down, mum's the word. I don't know what Instagram is anymore. That's basically what it seemed like. Like, all of a sudden, you're not going to post on Instagram? What is that? What is that? We're giving you the opportunity right here to really show people that you're a good person, which people did not think, especially after last year. But no, you're just giving everybody the validation that you are not a good person. Like, that's kind of just it. I can't even process that he's like okay with like looking bad, because he has to be. If he's not saying anything, he's literally okay with it. That's just simple as that. Like, if hearing what Hair by Jay said, like, did not make him want to unfollow Hair by Jay right away, like, that's all that I need. That's all that I need. Like, I just don't understand how you can sit back and still think like, yeah, I'm going to be friends with Trisha still, but I'm not going to unfollow Hair by Jay. Like, what? He literally texted her to come over and said that he was there for her, but he was still following Hair by Jay. What? Like, what is that? This man does not understand real friendships, I guess, then, because I'll tell you, like, if that was me, I would be like, that is some bullshit. Like, why are you following him? Like, you are unwell if you think that you can be friends with me and still follow someone that threatened me and made fun of my hair, skin, my weight, tried to tell me I was poor. Like, absolutely not. Just so ridiculous that this whole thing is like going down, and that Shane could literally change like the way people view him, but is choosing not to. But anyways, I definitely want to know, like, if you guys have been hearing about the situation. Like, I just feel like I'm non-stop heard about the situation through this entire drama that's gone down this week with Trisha, Shane, and Jeffree. Like, a bunch of people have been like emailing and DMing me and tweeting at me thinking like I'm Morgan, and like going off on me, being like, fuck you, like, your brother Shane Dawson, like, your brother's marrying Shane, like, how dare you guys not support Trisha. I'm like, oh my god, like, just take like 5 seconds to look at my channel and like how I've been saying that this stuff is like effed up between all 3 of them, and it's effed up that Shane is not defending Trisha, and like, you'll know I'm not Morgan. Like, you'll fucking know. Or just look at my tweets. I'm very public at the fact that I'm not supporting any of the things that are being said about Trisha, and that I do not like the way that Shane is handling this. But everyone is like going off on me. I literally got an email that was like, tell your brother to F off. I was like, Shane is not my brother. Like, listen to my podcast, please. I am an only child, and I've talked about it before, so it's ridiculous. But anyways, if you guys would like to email me, and not about me being Morgan Adams, or like maybe not me being related to Shane Dawson at all, because it's literally not true. And I have a whole episode addressing that situation. So it's just crazy that people still want to go about that narrative. But if you guys have a question that you guys want featured on the podcast, you can email me at nobleepspodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet me at nobleepspod on Twitter and DM me, and you guys will maybe have your question answered on the podcast. But I love you guys so much. If you guys listen to this podcast on streaming platforms and you guys give it a rating, that would really help me out a lot. And I just truly appreciate that you guys take the time to listen to this, and I just feel like I'm on FaceTime with my friends, and I love that about this. So I love you guys so much. Stay safe, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.